This video is brought to you by the Critical Language Service. To learn more about our Arabic courses taught via telepresence to schools and small groups, visit our website at www.criticallanguageservice.com.
The letter ta. Ta sounds like a deeper version of ta. At the beginning of a word, we write the letter ta like this, and it gets connected to the following letter by this line. In the middle, we write it like this, straight line, then we make a loop, and then we put the stick on it. It connects on both sides with these two lines. At the end, we write it like this. It connects to the previous letter with this line. The independent shape is like the final shape, just without this line. The independent shape only comes at the end. One example for ta at the beginning of a word is the word ta'ira, which means airplane. As you notice, we added the stick after we rewrote all the letters. Another example for the ta in the middle is the word batta. At the end, we have the word shut. At the end, in independent form, we have the word shubat. The letter ta might be similar to the letter ta, but they are quite different. So let's take a look at some examples. Here's the word tab, tab with ta, versus the word tab, tab with ta. So tab, you see it's softer ta, versus tab, you see here ta is stronger, tab. The next example is bet, bet, versus bat, bat. Once again, bet, bet, versus bat, bat. The letter ghayn. This letter sounds similar to the letter DHaa, as well as to the sound you make when you gargle. Like this. A fun example of this sound is Roy Orbison singing Pretty Woman. Notice how we write the letter ghayn at the beginning. It's like half circle, then straight line, and dot on the top. Middle, we write it like this. And it connects to both letter with this line on both sides. And if you notice, in the middle, it's more like square shape, so we can distinguish it with the letter fa in the middle. If you remember, fa was like a circle. But ghayn is squared shape. At the end, in connected form, we write it like this. Don't forget the squared shape. And it connects to the letter which comes before it with this line. Independent form, which only comes at the end, it's written like the final shape. It's like the combination of the beginning and the end shape. So we write it like this. Now let's take a look at ghayn versus DHaa. First word is khad, versus غض with ghayn. Once again, khad with kha versus غض with ghayn. Another example is the word kharaba, kharaba with kha versus gharb, gharb with ghayn. Listen to me once more. Kharaba with kha versus gharb with ghayn. The letter ayn. Ayn is one of the most common letters in Arabic and one of the most notoriously difficult sounds for Western learners to pronounce. One piece of advice for people trying to make the ayn sound is to sing the lowest possible note, then one lower. Like ah. Now let's see how we write the letter ayn. The letter ayn is basically like the letter ghayn, but with no dots. Beginning of a word, we write the letter ayn like this, and it connects to the other letter with this line. In the middle, we write it like this. Don't forget the squared shape. And like the letter ghayn, it connects on both sides with these lines. At the end, in its connected form, we write it like this. And it connects to the previous letter with this line. At the end, in independent form, we write it like this. Notice that the circle in the bottom is bigger than the circle on the top. Now let's look at the letter ayn versus hamza. The first word is asir with hamza at the beginning, and we pronounce it asir, versus the word asir, asir with ayn. Once again, asir, asir versus asir, asir, ayn. The next example is the word wa'ad, wa'ad with hamza versus wa'ad, wa'ad with ayn. Once again, wa'ad, wa'ad versus wa'ad, wa'ad. As you hear, ayn is much deeper in the throat than hamza. Cultural tips. Coffee houses. Coffee houses are the most popular meeting places in the Arabic culture, and you will find them in many places in the city. And you would see that they are more frequented by men than women, but nowadays you would also see young women and men drinking tea or coffee at this place. Tea and coffee are the most common drinks, and they play backgammon and smoke shisha, or we also call it ergila. Popular things at coffee house is the dominoes, and usually they stay together until late night, maybe 1-2 a.m., and they gossip and they complain about things, and also they tell jokes and they laugh. Here you see how coffee house look like during the day, and you see young men and girls getting together and drinking ergila and tea. This coffee house is Alexandria, Egypt. This picture, you see older men getting together, playing and gossiping and drinking. And this is a backgammon with Arab style made. Backgammon is really interesting, and you have to move like these little things around by throwing dices and by getting different numbers. And here you see coffee and how is it served on a tray. Arabic coffee is much stronger than the American coffee, and as you see it is served in a small glass and it is much thicker than the American coffee. And here you see a traditional coffee pot. You don't see these at coffee shops anymore, but these are used at homes and in the past. You would see them in the coffee shop before. Here you see tea, how it is served on a tray and with a mint nana in it. And if you go to the Middle East, you should try it because I like the tea with nana and it tastes better.